Well, the stock market, it is crazy. There's some weird stuff that sometimes goes on in the stock market, and yesterday was one of those weird days. I generally looked at Beyond Meat yesterday and went, what is going on? This does not make sense. Only 2 days ago, I made a video talking, well, yesterday I made a video quite early on talking about growth stocks and going, just weird out there. The stock market is just being really weird out there. You have a company like Beyond Meat, it brings out two fantastic pieces of news. Two pieces of news that pretty much say, look, these are going to bring in millions of pounds into Beyond Meat in the future. And the stock went to 52 close. We were down at $58 yesterday. And it was like, how is this happening? You know, the news that Beyond Meat brought out 2 days ago was like fantastic. This was news that should really see the stock probably go up 20%. And what happened? The stock absolutely tanked. We went from the $60 range, and we're all the way down at $58, 52 close, and it was like, what is going on here? And for no reason, yesterday the stock decided to jump. You know, the news that came out 2 days ago saw the stock go down, and then for no reason we decided to shoot up crazy amounts in the stock market. You know, yesterday we were up 14% on Beyond Meat. I don't know. I genuinely don't know. We are in such a weird stock market right now, and the Beyond Meat share price over the last 2 days has just made me just scratch my head looking at it. Like, we go down 15% on two deals that are worth millions of pounds, and then the next day we just shoot up 14%. This is generally the stock market that we're in right now. There's some weird stuff going on, and yeah, it's just weird. But I thought I'd talk about Beyond Meat a little bit because it had some weird price action going on over the last 2 days, and just a little bit more detail about some of the positive news that it's brought out recently as well. So I hope it's useful. And just on a bit of a side topic, if anyone ever says to you that in the short term they can predict where the stock market can go, this is why they aren't telling you the truth. No one would have predicted that Beyond Meat would go down 15% on some major brand deals, and then the next day, after going down 15%, would then go up 15%. It's just, I don't know. This is the stock market we're in. It's in a very weird place, especially for the small caps and growth stocks. But yeah, enough of that strange stuff that's going on here with a few stocks. We'll get stuck into Beyond Meat, and there's definitely been a bit of new news that's come out of this one over the last few days since I covered it. I last talked about Beyond Meat about 2 weeks ago, doing a bit of a full video on it, but the news that's brought out generally over the last few days has been absolutely fantastic. So, in case you don't know, a really quick summary of Beyond Meat. Beyond Meat basically make alternatives to meat products. The products, in my opinion, I've tried them. I think they're very good products, and I think that these products are not necessarily designed for people that are already, vegans. They are more designed for people that actually eat meat. And it's like, okay, can you kind of change 1-2 meals a week where you have a Beyond Meat product? And with that, you will obviously help yourself, help the world. Obviously, it's a lot cleaner for the environment, and also for your diet, it's really good. But also, the big thing that I always think is the big key point to say here is that people always forget the process of, if you're having meat products every night, people forget the process of how that meat product got there. You know, the amount of resources that are being used up, the animal that has gone through that process and, you know, been slaughtered for you to have that product there, all that can go with these products. You know, even if it's just one or two products a week, you know, this is a alternative to meat. It's an alternative for an animal to go through that process of going through that and ending up on your plate. And I think that's the big thing to say. And my general feeling to Beyond Meat is always that when you get to the point where Beyond Meat actually have their products at the same price as meat products, why would you not select that? You know, even if it's just 1 or 2 meals a week, why would you not get to the point where you're selecting that product? And that's why I've always been a really big believer in Beyond Meat, because for sustainability reasons around the world, and just generally the impact on animals and the world, I just think it's a no-brainer. I think it's a no-brainer that in the future that people do generally have at least one meal a week from Beyond Meat, and that's with either, you know, the beef burgers, the mincemeat, meatballs, sausages, the chicken that they've now brought out. I generally think that that's the way it will go down. And then you think about, well, if everybody in the world generally just has one meal a week that is an alternative to meat, it's a big market space that they're in. And when you have a product that I feel is as good as Beyond Meat's, I think they're very in a good place to benefit from that, and that's why I've always been a big believer in Beyond Meat going forward. But getting on to generally the big news that came out here is KFC makes new Beyond Fried Chicken available nationwide after 2 years of testing. So Beyond Meat are now expanding their range to have more and more products. Obviously they're expanded into chicken recently, and they've been working with KFC for a very long period of time. Been working in a few locations, tweaking the recipe a little bit, and finally they've got to a product that they're happy with to launch nationwide in the US. So this is going to be about 4,000 locations. And also you think about potentially, this is one product. What happens if they have 2 products, 3 products in KFC? Really big expansion for Beyond Meat going forward. And you start thinking about, even if they have, let's say every location does 30 sales of this alternative product in a day, and you add that over a year and every location, you start working out how much millions of pounds that starts adding into the revenue, which is fantastic. And then, like I said before, you're not factoring in if they add extra products in there. You're not factoring in the branding awareness of Beyond Meat as well, which is going to be huge, and hopefully that kicks into retail sales as well. And this is a really massive deal for Beyond Meat. So this is going to add obviously a lot of income in revenue into Beyond Meat going forward. And like I said, this is going to be 4,000 locations in the US, which is absolutely amazing. But the thing is if this is successful, and previously when they've been doing the trials before, that's why it's gone nationwide, because KFC have looked and thought, the sales are really good on this, let's launch it nationwide. You think about, okay, if this is going to go into 4,000 locations in the US, what's going to stop that from going to the KFC locations worldwide? And then that's when it gets really interesting, because you start working out, okay, if we go worldwide, 24,000 locations. So you think there there's the potential here from the marketing, the expansion of products, and then you think about the location expansion. This is just the US, 4,000 locations in the US. There is 24,000 KFCs in the world. So you start thinking, what happens if that product goes to 24,000? Even if it's not even the whole 24,000, let's say 10,000, 15,000 outlets. That's going to be a massive income into that revenue here, which is great. And then you start looking at who owns KFC. KFC is owned by Yum Brands, and then you look at the point of view that Yum Brands also has the likes of Pizza Hut, Taco Bell, and if Yum Brands are owning KFC and they're going, that's working really well over there, okay, can we use one of their meat alternatives now for Taco Bell? And then you start working out the locations of Taco Bell and the marketing benefit from that. You start looking at Pizza Hut, expanding into Pizza Hut and having ranges in there. And then you start adding all these together, and this is when you start realising how much potential these sort of partnerships have. And this is already great, but you also factor in the expansion that they could potentially have, and that's when you start getting to the really serious amounts of money going forward. And this was the second piece of news that came out on that day, which should have really helped the stock go up 20%. Everyone focused on the KFC side of it, but I think this was the bigger deal that actually came out on that day, and it just generally didn't get any coverage. No one is really talking about it. UK and Ireland are going to take the McPlant nationwide in the UK. So the McPlant had previously been, I think, in 250 locations in the UK and Ireland, and now it's been expanded to every single McDonald's in the UK and Ireland. Now, obviously, the only reason why you would try... So originally, the trial actually started off as like 100 or something locations. Then they expanded it to 200 plus locations, and now nationwide. Now, think about it. If you're going to expand it once and then twice, why would McDonald's do that? McDonald's would not do that if it was unsuccessful. McDonald's would... There's no point... If there's no sales, there's no point in us doing it nationwide. And the reason why they're doing that is because McDonald's have said this is being successful. And this is absolutely amazing. McDonald's is the king, the crown jewel of having the food service. This is the one that you really want Beyond Meat to have, and you want to be successful. And that's what's happening right now. And this is a big thing about the McPlant burger. Currently, there is 1,300 restaurants of McDonald's in the UK. So this is a massive amount of locations they're going to be at. You think about KFC that we talked about earlier. There's 4,000 of them in the US. There's 1,300 McDonald's in the UK. Now, you compare the UK to the US, we're only a little small island compared to the US. So this is a lot of expansion here. 250 locations to 1,300. That's a massive expansion of the McPlant burger right now. And then you factor in, okay, if this is successful in the UK, why are McDonald's not going to take this worldwide? And that's the big thing, is then you look at worldwide, 36,000 restaurants. So you think, once again, if the McPlant has been successful in the UK, you start expanding that to 10,000 restaurants, 15, 20,000, 25,000. And once again, if you just kind of expect them to do $60 a day in revenue from these McDonald's locations, you start timesing that by 20,000 locations throughout a whole year. Then you start getting into some serious money, which is absolutely great. And the big thing that I've really loved about the McPlant being trialled and launched and nationwide in the UK first is because I can try it. That's the great thing. Obviously, one of my big things is I do really like trying a lot of these products when I invest in them, just to make sure I kind of see how we're going. And I tried this. If you follow my Instagram, you would have known this. I think this was from about 2 months ago, maybe 3 months ago. I tried the product. It came in the McPlant box. It was overall, I've tried the actual retail product and now I've tried the McPlant burger. In my opinion, the McPlant burger was, I'd say, probably 8 out of 10. The reasons why I took it down 2 marks is because I felt like it was slightly overcooked. Not really Beyond Meat's fault, that's obviously goes down to McDonald's. Think it could have been cooked slightly less. And the other reason why I took it down is because it just comes in a standard burger. I think what would be really good, and this is, once again, this isn't a hit on Beyond Meat itself, this is me kind of reviewing the burger overall. I would love the option for it to be like a double cheeseburger version, and that's what would personally suit me. And I'd be like, if you start thinking about, would I go reorder it? I would go reorder it, but what would probably entice me more to kind of get it again if there was a double cheeseburger option, and that would be absolutely amazing, and I probably would get that again. I would say that would probably give me 10 out of 10 on that one. But that's obviously me reviewing it as a whole product. If I actually take the actual pate in the burger, I thought it was excellent. It was really good. And once again, you start talking about that, like I said there, that's what I would like. I would like them to have a McPlant double cheeseburger version. That's what I would really love to see them do. But obviously that's expansion. So that's the big thing. Once again, you start talking. This is the McPlant burger with McDonald's. Okay, so you now start talking about what happens if they start doing different ones, like a Big Mac version, McPlant burger, double cheeseburger version. What happens if they start using the chicken products? They obviously do a few chicken products. What happens if they use Beyond Meat technology for the chicken products? Beyond Meat could generally have a good 4 or 5 items in McDonald's, and that's when you start factoring the other income streams that can start coming in as well, and that's what gets really exciting. And this is just another photo that I took on Instagram, which was the actual board of what is up for sale. Just when you go in, you've got the McPlant burger here. It's got priority on the board, and the great thing, once again, if you can see here, it had the Beyond Meat logo on the board at McDonald's, which, like I said previous, you're not just factoring the sales, it's just the brand awareness. The brand awareness of, so Beyond Meat do the pate from that, and then you go to your local store and you see your Beyond Meat product to go, that's who does the burgers for the McPlant burger, and you think, I'll just get one of their products. And this is all tying in lovely with each other, and this is why it's so great how things are going at the moment. So overall, just generally really positive news out there. Weird share price action, but really good news going on for Beyond Meat. And like I said, for me, I just think this has so much potential going forward in the next few years. Just a little bit of side topic. Now, this is not really anything fact-based. This is just me going to speculate on something. Considering everything that I've just said in the last kind of 15 minutes, when you look at Beyond Meat right now, it's currently trading at a 4 billion market cap. Now you consider now the technology they have, the amount of partnerships they have, the potential expansion for the likes of KFC, Yum Brands, McDonald's. You're generally looking at this at a 4 billion market cap now. I'll just say, if you look at someone like a McDonald's and KFC, and you look at what benefits they could potentially bring for the menu going forward, the technology they have, you look at potential retail sales. When you look at what they could do for a lot of these chains, it's a 4 billion market cap. Let's say you throw a 8 billion bid on Beyond Meat if you're McDonald's. I don't know. I'm just going to leave that there. Would you think that would be a good move for them? I'm just saying, you look at what the partnerships, how they're tying together, the advertising, expansion, moving into the next gen of the food cycle, I guess. What do you think on that? That's always something that I've been looking at. I think, the benefits they bring to McDonald's and Yum Brands. What's to stop maybe one of them going 8 billion? What do you think? I'll leave that with you guys. You let me know what you think in the comments. That's always something that I thought about. Obviously, that's not facts. That's just me speculating. I think that would make perfect sense for me for one of these companies, but hey, you know, that's just what I'm going to leave on right now. But yeah, anyway, getting back to the actual Beyond Meat point of view, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you just kind of, you know, talking about share prices and the strange stuff can happen in the stock market in the short term, and just generally the benefits that Beyond Meat have, or the great deals they've done recently, and the benefits they will bring in for the longer term as well, which is really good. So yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. Let's hope Q4 financials are slightly better in the right direction than the Q3 ones recently as well. Obviously we're not too far off them, but hope you enjoyed the video. Hit the like button if you're new, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video.